Dodge Challenger is a muscle car that was first introduced in 1970 and has seen 3 separate generations. This 2015 model is part of the most recent generation that was introduced for the 2008 model year after a 25-year hiatus and saw a minor refresh for the 2015 model year. Styling on the 3rd generation of the Challenger is very cool. Just like the Mustang that came out prior to this that paid tribute to the original model, and the Camaro that came out shortly after likewise paying tribute to the original Camaro, that's what we get with the 3rd generation model, the Challenger. It's got a very modern look to it, but its heritage dates back to that 1st generation model, the Challenger, and it's got a really cool combination of being very retro yet at the same time having a very modern design. As you can see, it's got a very muscular look going along with the muscle car theme, and for the 2015 model year we see some really nice updates. It's got a cleaner front and rear fascia. You also see on the grille that they add these split port grille inserts, and then our headlights get the halo treatment. So we've got the LED daytime running light halo around the circumference on both of these headlights, and then it's also got integrated blinkers with those halos. Otherwise, you can see it's got a really nice looking front end. I love how the grille and the headlights are kind of set back from the front of the vehicle here. It's got a very aggressive hood with the air intakes on each side. Down below, we've got a lower grille. You'll see we've got cutouts for fog lights that aren't included on this model, but you will see those on some other models. And then it's got the little lip down below, spoiler lip, which gives it a very aggressive look. Coming around to the side, this is the great thing about the 2015 model, is that they don't change anything drastically from when it was first released in 2008. The overall dimension, proportions of the vehicle is unchanged. The sweeping lines that make this vehicle look so good remain the same. They just give it those few, minor updates to give it a more modern look. We do get updated wheel designs with the 2015 refresh. You also see that we've got smart key. So this little button here, if the key's in the pocket, you can push on that and it locks the doors. Likewise, if the key is in my pocket, I can push on that and open the handle here and it unlocks. So a handy little feature. You'll see we've got our fuel tank here, which has a definite retro look to it, pretty cool design. And then coming around to the back, we also see a minor refresh here for 2015. It's got the all LED tail lights, double racetrack design apparently, with the Dodge lettering in the middle. Down below we've got a couple of reflectors, and then we've got the split dual exhaust. So really great looking design back here as well. I'm not going to get into the argument of whether the Camaro, the Mustang, or the Challenger is best looking. In my opinion, all 3 look awesome. I love what Dodge did with this 3rd generation model, the Challenger. Like I said before, it's got a really cool look to it because it's got that retro look dating back to the original Challenger. Yet at the same time, it's not like they just copied that design into a modern iteration. It really has a personality of its own, and I think it's a great looking vehicle. Looking inside the Challenger, you'll see it's got a really nice interior design. I mentioned that this is updated for 2015 along with a few of those updates to the exterior, and this is by far the best update. Huge improvement over the early years of this 3rd generation model. It's got a very attractive functional design, nice accents throughout, and it's fairly high quality materials for a vehicle at this price point. This of course is one of the more base models, but it still comes with a nice level of standard options and features. We get power windows, power door locks, and power heated mirrors. Got our door handle right here, cup holder, and then space here for an umbrella or maps. Driver seat is powered with lumbar support, and it's fairly comfortable. Steering wheel is leather wrapped. It's got a tri-spoke design, nice feel to it. On the left hand side, we've got controls for a number of vehicle settings on the instrument cluster, and then down below that we've got our Bluetooth controls. On the right hand side, we've got cruise control, and then to the left of the steering column we've got our lighting controls and a button to open the trunk lid. Go ahead and jump inside. We've got that smart key, so we can just push the button here to activate the ignition, and you'll see that the instrument cluster's got a really cool look to it. Nice combination of being a little bit retro, yet at the same time very modern. Tachometer on the left, speedometer on the right. Center dash, we've got a couple vents with the LCD screen in the middle. Unfortunately, it doesn't dual as a backup camera, which on a vehicle like this would be nice. And this screen's a little bit smaller because it's one of the more base models. So as you get to the higher end trim packages, you're going to see this screen grow quite a bit in size and have some of those additional features. We've got radio up here in the upper left, AM/FM radio and satellite radio if you subscribe to the service. We've also got a media button here. You can connect a phone or MP3 player using either a hardwired connection or Bluetooth connection. Likewise, you can connect your phone to the vehicle using Bluetooth and place calls over the vehicle audio system. Got a compass, climate control can be controlled through this screen, and then a few other vehicle settings. Down below here, you'll see that we've got a few more of our audio controls, volume here, tuner over here. We've got the sport mode, hazard lights, traction control, and then we've got our climate control down below, which is a dual zone system for driver and front passenger side with heat and air conditioning. Got our gear shifter. This obviously is the automatic because it's got the 3.6. Little storage space, 2 cup holders, and then center armrest opens up here with some storage space inside, 12-volt outlet, auxiliary connection, USB connection, and a slot for an SD card. You also see over here on the passenger side, we've got another 12-volt outlet and cup holder. Up above, we've got a self-dimming rear view mirror, a couple reading lights, and a compartment for sunglasses. Now to access our rear seat, you'll see here on the driver's side, the seat slides forward, but in order to maintain the position for the driver, the seat doesn't slide forward unless you want to adjust that electronically with this button. But if we come around to the passenger side, entry is a little bit better. Open this up, got this handle here, pull that, seat folds forward, and then likewise it slides, giving you good access to the rear seat. You'll see that back here it's definitely going to be a little bit on the tighter side, but it's not terrible, definitely usable seats. And our center seat here folds down into an armrest with 2 cup holders. And we've got a couple vents to bring heat and air to the rear. For 2015, the Challenger is offered with 4 different engine options. They've got a 6-cylinder and 3 different V8s. All of those are offered with an 8-speed automatic transmission, but if you go with a V8, you can also opt for a 6-speed manual. This model's got the 3.6-liter V6, which has 305 horsepower and 268 pound-feet of torque. It's got a 0-60 time of 6.2 seconds and a very good EPA rating of 19 miles per gallon in the city and 30 miles per gallon on the highway. Next up is the 5.7-liter V8, which has 375 horsepower and 420 pound-feet of torque. It's got a 0-60 time of 5.1 seconds and an EPA rating of 15 to 16 miles per gallon in city and 23 to 25 miles per gallon on the highway. Next up is the 6.4-liter V8, which has 485 horsepower and 475 pound-feet of torque. That drops the 0-60 time to 4.5 seconds and the EPA rating to 14 to 15 miles per gallon in the city and 23 to 25 miles per gallon on the highway. The top end option on the Challenger for 2015 is a 6.2-liter supercharged 8-cylinder, which has 707 horsepower and 650 pound-feet of torque, very quick 0-60 time of 3.6 seconds, and an EPA rating of 13 miles per gallon in the city and 21 to 22 miles per gallon on the highway. Well, I guess the most important question is whether it's fun to drive or not. Now, as you can see, it's a little bit snowy today. The roads are slick, so we're not going to be able to fully test that out, but pulling onto the highway here, we will go ahead and give it a little gas and let you hear the engine rumble a bit. It's got a good sound to it for a 6-cylinder. And really, that's the great thing about this Challenger is, yeah, this is the 6-cylinder. You're probably gonna have a bit more fun with the 8-cylinder, but there are some benefits to the 6-cylinder. It's gonna be a lot cheaper from the get-go. Maintenance is also gonna be less, and you're saving a lot on gas. And 19 miles per gallon in the city and 30 on the highway is actually quite good. You know, that's what you're going to see in most family sedans, and this is going to be a lot more fun to drive than those vehicles. Now, the Challenger is actually a really nice vehicle to drive. It's surprisingly smooth and comfortable. It's got really nice supportive seats, and it would definitely be a great vehicle for that day-to-day drive. And that's the nice thing about the Challenger, is that it's a vehicle that is, you know, in some ways fairly practical, yet at the same time, it's got a really bold look to it. It really stands out, and it's a lot of fun to drive. With the 6-cylinder, it's also going to be a fairly quiet vehicle, which is a good thing and a bad thing. Obviously, with muscle cars, sometimes you want them to make a lot of noise and be really loud, but as a daily driver, there is some benefit to the 6-cylinder being a little bit quieter. I really like the interior on this 2015 refresh. I think it's got a really cool look to it that pays a little bit of tribute to that original generation of the Challenger without being like kind of corny or tacky looking. I feel like it's got a nice clean look to it that's fairly modern, good level of standard options and features. And I'd say that compared with the Mustang and the Camaro, while I don't want to comment on exterior design, I think the Challenger's got the best interior design. I did jump into the back seat of the Challenger to test out those rear seats. I'm 5'10", had the driver's seat where I'd want it for driving. It had more than enough space in the back. That's one of the nice things about this being a fairly large vehicle, even though it's only a 2-door, is that the seats in the rear are definitely very functional. It's gonna be a little bit more work getting into the back because you've got to fold forward the front seats and you can't get out when somebody's in the front, but once you're back there, it's a pretty nice area. So all around, the Challenger is a really nice vehicle to drive. I'd say that the only real compromises that you're making is that getting into the rear seat's going to be a little bit challenging, and the blind spots are a little bit challenging as well. But beyond that, it's a great vehicle to drive. It's smooth, it's comfortable, it's got a good level of standard options and features, it's quick, it's got good fuel economy, and while it's not necessarily kind of an obvious option for that daily driver, I think it would do it just fine. So that's a look at the 2015 Dodge Challenger, a really cool vehicle all around. It's got a great exterior design that's very aggressive, very muscular looking. It's got a little bit of that retro flavor, at the same time a very modern design. Likewise inside, it's got a nice interior, great update with that 2015 refresh, a nice level of standard options and features. It's comfortable, it's smooth, fairly quiet with the 6-cylinder, and would make a great daily driver. Obviously the 8-cylinder models are going to be a lot more fun to drive, but there are some drawbacks to that. They're going to be a lot louder, fuel economy is not going to be as good, and obviously they're going to be a lot more expensive to buy from the offset. That's the great thing about the 6-cylinder model of the Challenger. Yes, it's not as quick, but it's still fast, and it's going to be a lot more fun than the Honda Accord or the Toyota Camry that's going to be going for the same price. So if you're looking to get into something that's really exciting, that really stands out, that's reasonably priced, and you're not going to make a ton of sacrifices, the Challenger might be a really good option to consider. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to give us a thumbs up. For more car reviews, be sure to subscribe. In the meantime, thanks for watching.